I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming out. I guess we'll approve the minutes.
Thanks for adding me to the December minutes. I make a motion we approve the minutes for December. I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay, thanks. We need to approve the bills for January 26th.
I make motion to pay bills. I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay, thanks. We need to swear in Alan and Laura for city councils for this next couple of years. So Robin will do that.
Okay, you're gonna repeat after me.
Should we want them both at the same time?
Oh, I don't know, I guess we can. Sure.
It just seems like we could fill in our own name and then.
Yeah. I don't know.
Citizenship.
Do you want to stand down here so you can see it, or actually?
I guess I
let's do that.
Okay. Can we just read this?
I
Laura Stewart Burt, do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support
I support the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
State of-
well, it says the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho.
Constitution of the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho, that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of council member
of the city of Basalt according to the best of my abilities.
in the city of Basalt according to the best of my abilities.
Good job. I'd shake your hand off on Wilson. You can sign it.
Okay, maybe doing it together wasn't the best idea, but we know something.
Okay. Try it once, right?
Worst case scenario, we have to redo it next month.
When Garrett looks at the video, it's like.
Easy peasy, we'll do it again.
So do we have to do a motion to approve them or anything?
They were voted in. Yeah, vote for it. You already did.
You already did.
Okay.
So I'm going to open up the public hearing for amending ordinance 139 for manufactured homes. Basically, we're just making a modification that it needs to state that the manufactured home has to be a double wide instead of like a single.
We had noticed, we're like, Garrett thought he covered it under the square footage, but I have my doubts.
900 square feet, I mean, you could put a 10 foot by 90. If
So-
that's what, and it'd be
So
covered
we
under
figured we
that, so-
better,
We'll just clarify it with a double wide manufactured home at 900 square feet. So is there anybody that has any comments about that? It's open. Okay, how about you guys?
I'm good.
Okay, all right, well,
so just close it now.
We're still on the HUD program, no, it's still foundation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of
everything's the same.
everything else.
We're just
is the
clarifying
same.
that it needs to be a double wide manufactured home, not a single.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the only thing. Just need to clarify it. So I guess I'll close the hearing if there's nothing to be said by anybody. Okay.
Do we have to make a motion? to
You
approve
can make a
that?
motion to
Amend it?
amend it, but also to, what's the right word, but not do the rest of the readings. How do you-
Waive the
waive-
reading?
Waive the
Waive
whole
it.
reading,
So I make a
Waive the
motion.
required.
required, yes, waive the required reading.
So I make a motion, we approve the amended ordinance number 139 and waive
The required
the required readings.
I second.
All in favor? Okay, thanks. Water planning study. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, so Brian and I just have been talking along with the mayor and we've kind of talked about it in some of the council meetings, that it's probably time for us to do a water planning study. It's been since 2000 when they did the water project then, and with some of the potential issues, things coming down the pipeline of meter reading, it might be a good idea to be on top of that. So Husk has written a letter of interest, and I just wanted to make sure that we are all on the same page, that we proceed with that.
Basically, what this does, in order to get any kind of grants or funding,
Or even
Yeah.
help us like set pricing.
yeah, you have to have this study.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important that we have it.
And if we do this study, it does cost us some, but you get a grant for half, right? Isn't it
Yeah.
usually 50-50?
They're right.
Yeah.
So a couple ways to fund water studies. DEQ is one of them. The letter of interest goes into DEQ. They accept the letter of interest once a year. And that's in January, so it'll go in tomorrow. The letter of interest is about an 8-page questionnaire. It asks you about sustainability, asks you about conditions of the system, it asks you about violations and all that kind of stuff. And so they take all the applications, they rank them, a priority list based on the points they assign for each question. And then about April or May, it varies a little bit, they'll publish a ranked priority list that says here. So for example, last year there were 34 applications and they all had the points and they rank them, and they say based on how much money you ask for, DEQ will pay up to 50% of the study, up to a study value of $90,000. If you want more than that, then they'll only pay up to 45. So for example, one of us, last year there was one, they wanted $230,000 and DEQ said, okay, that's fine. They made the list, but we're only gonna give you $45,000 in grant. That was Lewiston, I think, when we looked at it a few minutes ago. So, since it's public money, they advertise. They have to publish that list so people can comment on it around the state. And then in June, after the public comment period is over, they finalize the list. And they say, well, we've got $100,000, $300,000, whatever it is for the year. They go down the list until they run out of money. And they offer those. Last year, there were 34 applications. The top 10 are the ones that made the eligibility. Then they send you then they say, once they finalize that list, here's who is here are the projects that are fundable. Then they'll say, if you can make that list, they'll say, do you want to apply or not? Even though you send in a 20-page letter of interest, do you want to apply? You say, yeah, we plan on applying. Okay, we'll keep you on the list. We won't move it down. We won't offer the next one. And so then you have to submit an application. There's a bunch of attachments you have to send to it. For example, they want to see your cross connection control program. And there's a bunch of things they want to see in that application. And then, so you fill out the application, they take a look at that, make sure everything's, you checked all the boxes there. Then they actually send you the offer then. Okay, here's we are money, and then that's kind of an agreement as well. So mayor ends up signing the agreement and says, yeah, we'll take the money. So it's a little bit of a process because, even though we're setting the letter of interest, we don't even know if we're on the list till April. If we make the list, fiscal year for the state starts in July, then you can fill out the application. So it'd be next fall sometime, late summer, early fall before, if we're successful in meeting that. And then we'll probably wait till we kind of have that plays out. And then USDA Rural Development also funds, they don't call them a facilities planning study, they call it a preliminary engineering report, but same thing. And see if we have any eligibility there for a study. There's that they don't have as strict of, they want to see some match, but they don't have a strictly defined limit. So we can get some money from them, then what we do is we use that for part of our match against the state grant, assuming that we qualify. And their grants go to low to moderate income communities. So we'll see. I'll start talking to rural development about kind of where we fit there and whether that's going to be an eligibility. But we'll see what happens with the state before we get too serious with rural development. So, so that's kind of the process. And like Brian said, the study is one of those that evaluate your system. We always do it on like a 5-point analysis. And a year ago, I think I brought you kind of a quick and dirty, like a 5-point analysis. We look at the water rights, the pumping capacity, the distribution system, the water storage, and the water quality or the treatment, and are we meeting all the state requirements? What are our capacities? What's our anticipated growth? Do we have any deficiencies? What should we be addressing in this? We do projections of, of course, for 20, 30 years, what's our population going to look like? That's what's our demand going to look like? We do run through the same 5 points for future conditions as well as we do existing conditions. So we're looking down the road and looking ahead so we can get prepared for that. And then we address any of the deficiencies with alternatives. How are we going to solve it? For example, if we don't have enough pump capacity, we're going to drill. Do we need to upsize a pump? Do we need to replace pump? And of course, those maintenance type things you guys have been working on pretty good for the last year. So some of the things that will show up as deficiencies probably won't. If I was to, when I did it a year ago and I did it kind of quick and dirty, probably where you're going to fall in is the fire flow requirements have kind of changed over the last 20 years. It may be that the church, the fire marshal may say we need 2,500 gallons a minute instead of 1,500 gallons a minute, so we may have.
And then you see something like about tank capacity.
Yeah, and probably the storage more than likely is that we don't meet the current requirement for storage. But I think in terms of water rights and water source, I think we're probably there. But anyway, when we're done, we have it all kind of figured out, and then we decide what we're going to do and how we're going to approach that and how we're going to resolve those issues that we've identified. So it's kind of a process. In a municipal project like this, it's you can say, time we get it squared away next fall with money. I'm not saying you can't do it in a couple months, but you're probably another year. So 2 years from now, assuming we want to do something and then we want to solve some of them, then we're putting a letter of interest in again in order to ask for loan dollars and or grant dollars. And DEQ doesn't, the SRF program, state revolving fund, the rules don't allow they don't allow them to offer grants. So they call it loan forgiveness. But whatever, call it what you want, it's the same thing. And so you can look at the list and see who got loan forgiveness, who didn't, and it's really how your points score again and where you sit on a low to moderate and where your rates are. And there's a number of things that factor into how much loan forgiveness they'll offer. A little HOA down by Silver Springs, we got about 80% loan forgiveness, which is quite remarkable. Up in Island Park on the project I'm doing up there, about 75% loan forgiveness. But you just don't know where it's going to play out. You have some idea based on the community and where you're at and what your rates are and stuff. But then you talk to DEQ and rural development all through the process so that they're aware of what you're doing, and you try to enlist them in. And when you apply for those kind of things, when you do the study, you paint the picture as bleak as you possibly can, right? we're all dying of thirst, and our crops are dying, and the water smells bad, and anyway, whatever you need, just you're trying to get points. So, yeah.
Along that line, if anyone in the city is under, assistance to pay their bills and stuff for the water and stuff, does that include on there, saying we got these people that are?
Only as it factors into the low to moderate income threshold.
Okay.
So, and so I speak facetiously a little bit, but I always say if you don't take care of your system, or your rates are really high, and you're broke, and you're poisoning people with the water, you go right to the top of the list.
Is that what we need to do?
Yeah.
We should
But
poison
if
the
you take
water
care of your
tank.
system, it's in good condition, you don't violate any of the maximum contaminant levels, you got rates are,
I'll have to do some thinking.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you want to deliberately
Put a
do
load of
things, I'm just
crap in
saying
the
that's how
tank,
it works.
is that what he
You look at
said?
the list, everybody's probably read, City of Driggs on the wastewater and their violations, and they got fines and whatever. They rank pretty high, on the wastewater, because they have a bunch of,
Yeah.
they paid, I got negotiated down like 400,000 in fines for ammonia discharge and that kind of thing, but. So, and the mayor has the draft LOI, and you can go through it, and you can see that you can see where those points come from. The wastewater one is if you discharge and you have violations, whatever, you have these significant violations, it's 150 points. Well, there's like 500 possible. Well, if you don't have a violation, there's 150 points you can't even get to. So anyway, so kind of an art, how you go about it. So.
Okay. All right, thanks. Brian, report?
Okay, it's been a busy month for a little bit of everything. I was just telling us, we did get a new flow meter in well 3. Because of the holidays, the electrical is a little behind, so we're waiting for so it's in, but it's not running. So we're waiting on some electrical work. So that is in the process. We're still waiting to hear where we're fitting on the schedule for the tank inspection. That plays in part with what we're gonna need to reline it, because that inspection will show us a lot there. So we're waiting to see when, they like to do everything in this area at the same time, so it's kind of cold right here right now, and they don't want to dive into our tank. So it may get pushed off till a little warmer weather.
Why don't they just have like something they just dump in there and it runs around? And...
Some of them do use submarines to do it. I think the one that we chose, actually, they're using divers. But, also with water, this week I've been talking to Bingham Groundwater District. They're gonna start starting in 2026, I now have to report our meters every month. So our flow meters, there's a form I get online and fill out, so that's something new. It's part of that water mitigation program. And that's Robin, it doubled our taxes on the water.
Yeah, our Bingham groundwater taxes, I had to look, when I saw the bill, I'm like, this feels high. And so I looked the last couple of years that I've been in, it was like 1,200, then it went to 1,800, and this year it was almost 4,700. Yeah.
And a lot of that is in the mitigation progress, but I'm sure it's pain for lawyers. Gotta love them. Garrett's not here, so I can. So yeah, I'll be reporting our water numbers every month. I guess from here until forever. I did meet with the county commissioners. We did get approved to buy gravel from the county pit for our road projects this summer. It's micro seal sand. Basically, they're junk from grinding up gravel, but they're reusing it. We got a pretty good deal on it. We're gonna buy about 152 tons.
We're gonna do 2 roads this year.
Yeah, the price came in pretty good, and so we are gonna do 2 roads. In addition, I got permission to buy some road base. I've got some work on 810 North over there, the dirt road. Some ruts and stuff that need to be filled in and regraded, so I did get some more road base, permission to buy it from there. So that's been approved. While I was there, there's been a lot of controversy in the county over borrow pits and water runoff. In fact, just before my meeting with them, they had a meeting that changed some of their codes to put corrugated pipe underneath driveways and borrow pits, because in some places it wasn't necessary. But anyways, the whole long and short of it is the county would like us to fix the borrow pit on Goshen Road and on Oregon Road, where it puddles, those big puddles.
In other
On
words,
the
tear
north-
up people's
On the
yards.
north side, mostly.
Mostly on the north side.
So my yard, huh?
Yes, yes.
Jack's yard,
So technically, everybody that filled it in,
Landscaped.
landscaped, poured asphalt, whatever they did was against the law. And
I didn't even throw it in.
technically, it's the same way for the city too. But the county's after us. Drew would like me to get with the commissioners on a separate meeting, because you have to talk about different things, you know. You have to, if it's not on the agenda, you can't talk about it. So we're looking at probably having the county come and help me grade those with their grader. Our equipment just can't handle that kind of load, and especially in some of those areas. And I kind of wanted the council's thoughts on that. One other thing that's kind of on the back burner, I don't know when it's going to happen. Drew Jensen, he's one of our commissioners, is pushing hard to change those roads back into the county control. He thinks that that's dumb, and it hasn't been put on an agenda anywhere yet, but I know he's pushing for it. So the water puddles are gonna cause a problem to the road, and if we're gonna continue to have to pay for the road, it would help us in the long run. Roughly, if I figured, if we have them come and do the work, they charge us what they call FEMA rate, which is if we had a natural disaster and FEMA came in, they basically use the county's equipment and they pay just the cost of the equipment, what it costs to run. So it's actually a pretty good deal. So they would come in and anywhere from 5 to 10 hours, they figured you'd have to take a look at it. But it's at, it's a rate of $167.74 an hour. So we're looking at maybe $1,000, a couple $1,000 to have the county come in and help us grade those. But I have a lot of concerns about the neighbors there. Their driveways and stuff. I don't know how to go about. Do we have any suggestions of how we talk to these
You
people
could send the
about?
mayor out. Talk to him. He can give him a hat.
Most of them won't be too bad, but Mike Johnson on the corner of Oregon Road and Goshen Road, he has filled that just absolutely clear full, way up higher than the road, and has wanted us to fill in and make basically a French drain on part of his property to help take care of some of that water, but it's water that's there because he raised his driveway, which is the county's, well, it's our right of way, the county says right now, so I don't know. It's a really nice driveway. It's not asphalted, but it's a really nice driveway, and I don't know how to go about saying, hey, we gotta dig up your driveway to make room for water.
Is there any way to build some sort of drainage so that it can be maintained nicely?
We'd have to have it engineered.
Okay.
And any kind of drainage, where would you drain it to?
Could I drain mine into my irrigation ditch?
Yes.
Would
Yes.
that be okay?
So one of the things they did talk about is, and it's federal law too, but water that's developed on the property has to stay on the property. And the right of ways is to hold the water from the roads. So anytime we do anything, landscaping, paving, whatever, really it should have been engineered to maintain the same amount of water that is supposed to come off those roads in those areas. So like in your place, really like other than where your driveway is, you should have a swell in there that can hold a certain amount of water that runs off the road in your area. So as long as it's below the road level, so that the water puddles in the right of way and not on the road, is basically what's going to happen. And if the county comes in and does it, they're most likely going to skip all of the driveways and do the best they can to help people with their driveways, but everything else is got to go back to that.
So what do we do about
So-
the spot by the stop sign? Cause that's like right
That's part of,
driveway, you know?
and some of that is just poor maintenance on the road, and that's some of the stuff that I was going to work on this summer.
So
Hopefully to
is
get.
it a problem if there's no puddling?
If there's no puddling, then no. As long as the water is running off and going somewhere. So yeah, it's not, and this spring, if you remember, I was out there and I did quite a bit on cleaned up a lot of it, but there's some of that that's just, like down by Lopez's and Zach's place, that's gonna be a big one. Because that's gotta be a good 12, 13 inches above the roadway. So that means Zach's driveway and all of that will have to be gouged out and the swells put back in.
Okay.
So I guess my question is do we go ahead and have the county help us and get it taken care of?
So I've noticed that, so I filled in mine, and I've got a piece of property that is dirt and a piece that's grass. The dirt always puddles, it's always gone when there's grass. It doesn't even puddle at all. Is that a possibility that we could kind of clean it all up, put some dirt in there and plant grass?
Yeah, if people want that. The biggest thing is
Well, it's
those
city
swells
right
are
away.
supposed to be lower than the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
That's what the borrow pits were designed for.
Yeah.
And I wasn't here when any of the city of Basalt was that way, but I know Mrs. Tucker's pretty upset at me because I told her it was her fault, or whoever she bought the house from. That puddle in front of her place, it's because all the water runs right off of her house, right down the lawn and right out onto the road. So really the only way to fix it is dig up that front area and make it a swell so that the water runs off of her property into the swell or off the road into that swell. Technically, the law says it can't run off of her property into the swell either, but yeah, so that there's a lot there. It's all kind of new to me. So, but I didn't know if we wanted to go ahead and work on that this summer and pay the county to help us?
So
Or do
it
we
has to
wanna-
be done, right?
It has to be done,
Regardless.
regardless.
We don't have the equipment to do it.
Really, I don't.
So we kind of pretty much have to get the county's help.
Or hire somebody else,
Well, I don't
which
think
it'd be
we're-
more.
Yeah, exactly.
if we put it off too long in hopes
Somehow we have to communicate with
that,
people.
yeah,
Right, so we have to go forward with it. It's the
Yes.
communication part that we need to work on.
yeah, and it's whether we pay for it or down the road, the county actually comes in and just does it themselves, it's gonna happen.
Right.
One way or another, it's just,
I don't know how to talk to them. If anybody else has any ideas,
You
I'll
just
think
have
on
to
that one,
say
because
it.
that's a tough one.
I think you have to just go individually and talk to each person.
and just
And
say,
have
hey,
copies of the law.
I
Say,
wonder,
sorry, this is what it says.
well, I had kind of wondered if we couldn't invite them all that's gonna be affected
To a special meeting.
to a city council meeting where we could discuss it.
wonder if we can experiment on somebody's property that has the problem and kind of change it up and plant some grass and just see if that might solve the problem. I don't know.
Like I say, the worst ones are down there by Mike Johnson and, next to Uncle Tom's place, and then at Zach's. All of the others are kind of taking, I cleaned them up the best I can, and they're actually doing pretty good.
Does the county say we have to do certain things? I mean, besides, it has to be lower than the road. I'm assuming that's like the law.
Yeah.
So we don't have a choice, we have to lower them.
Yes.
But how we do that is kind of up to us. Like if we lower it and then put in grass, that's okay.
Yeah, they don't care. And I know the county ordinances say that you can't get a certificate of occupancy if you
I
fill that in.
wonder also, I've noticed that, you've seen the dirt that we have turns to concrete when it's dry and hard and then nothing ever soaks in. I wonder if there's a possibility of going down just a little bit and just doing gravel, so it
Well,
gives it a chance
To some extent, because some of it, right there at Trent's, that's nothing but that pea gravel stuff. And it holds so much water in there that you don't even dare run off the road at all, because you'll get stuck. In fact, you probably see some deep ruts in there. Our UPS trucks, and the trucks coming out of Christensen's like to go over there, and some of those are pretty deep ruts. It just,
Yeah, pea gravel's not a good thing to put in for drain. You'd have to go in with some 3-inch or
I
larger
think
cobbles.
I think the problem is you can't go very deep because that's where all the gas lines are, that's where all the
Right.
stuff is, so that's a problem.
that's why I kind of thought the county, they know it, they know that road.
Yeah.
They used to take care of it until they decided it was our job, so I just thought, if they come in and did it, they're licensed operators,
Yeah.
they're insured.
People can be mad at them.
Yeah,
We could just be the guys that say,
Pay the bill.
it's gonna happen one way or another, so we're gonna have them do it.
Well, yeah, that's basically what we want to say. We want to figure out a nice way to say it.
You know,
I work for the transportation department through ITD, and we've actually run into that scenario where like dig line, say they call dig line and they actually we've ran into a spot where there's say fiber or something they put in there, or even like a gas line. And we've had that same problem with puddles, and we'll try and grade the road for the shoulders and stuff for water drainage and all that stuff for the road, because we run into the same problem that you guys are having. Where the puddles, that's what builds potholes, that's what tears up the road, that's what makes it go away. But over time, if they call dig line and dig line finds something there that you can't, and it's only so far down, sometimes we'll just walk away from it and say, oh, we can't do nothing.
raise the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, you gotta make the road taller.
and then fill it in again.
Yes.
Well, and I think down at Zach's place, I think that's what's happened. It's puddled there so bad for so many years that whole roadbed is actually just,
It's gone.
it's sinking. And so that's, I think, why that one's so bad. And we're gonna have the same problem over at Mike Johnson's place. It's sunk just in the couple of years I've been here, so I know it's changing.
Isn't that where Supreme tied in, is where that problem starts?
It is right about, yep,
Because they dug all that up there when Supreme hooked up on the sewer system, and then,
well, supposedly they all redid that when we did in 2018.
but that was all, they flattened it there. It used to have a ditch there, you know, a borrow pit,
Yeah,
but when they did Supremes, it went away, it went flat.
so and when the gas company came in and did all that work, they built it up. I think they were expecting it to sink, I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, that, it does have to happen. I just thought, I'd bring it to the council and say, hey, it's gonna happen one way or another. Do we
Yeah,
wanna?
we looked at that last year when there was great big puddles halfway through the road. Yeah.
So Dusty said next time we have a whole bunch of big puddles like that, if I call him up, he'd come and help me look at it, and then they could decide kind of how to go about it.
Yeah.
And
Sounds good.
give me a better idea about how.
I think it's better to hire the county to do that. Yeah. That way if they hit something, they can deal with that.
So on the same subject of Goshen Road, in addition to that, I've been talking to Dusty a lot this week, and I just get irritated. But they're micro sealing Goshen Road.
Okay.
So where it stands right now, they're gonna stop at Oregon Road and start again just the other side of the bridges. So it's gonna skip our whole section. He said it'd be nice, and we have a commissioner that lives on that road that's gonna be very upset, which is okay. But it would double. I'd have to go in and meet with the commissioners again, get permission to double our micro seal sand. He roughly figured about another $25,000 to micro seal that for our section of it.
So they're just skipping that part
Yep.
because they claim it's
Because we-
ours?
Because it's ours.
So did they ask us for a right of way?
Let's just put a toll on it, then shut the road down.
I don't
Everybody else figure out how
I
to get
suggested
it.
that.
I mean, if they're gonna be that way, we can be that way. If it's Basalt, we'll just close the road.
I thought at one time they
Problem
had
is,
to,
because of
give
the
a-
state law, any road by a city goes to our side, it's the city's responsibility.
Yeah. So
And they
but
just,
they would, I thought at one time they were supposed to ask for our permission, and then they told us, oh no, that's ours. We don't,
well,
it doesn't go through you guys, so now they're turning
as
it
it
back
is, they're just
again.
gonna skip that whole section. They're not even gonna be on it, so they don't.
So, and Drew is fighting it, he thinks. they
He's trying to get it
should
to change.
Do that, but
Because we're not just Basalt using it, Goshen's
I
using
know.
that, all those trucks went on the mountain, used that.
Mhm.
Well, and
You know, it becomes.
that's a whole other subject.
okay, I'll make it worse because there's a mine that's going in up at Wolverine,
That's what I mean.
and this is a major collector. And so
They have to go up this
the
way.
trucks, when I talked to Dusty, they sent it back to the mining engineers because there was a bunch of stuff that just didn't make sense. They still need to have a hearing when they bring it back, the plan back, and there'll be a hearing, but, they're hauling, I can't remember, it's what they use for cement. Granite. Right? Granite. It's super special granite, whatever it is. About 80% of it's going into Idle Falls. 20% is going south. But right now they're looking at Wolverine Road is their main road to haul that out. But the state just came and put restrictions on a bridge out there
Now
at
we
the
know
bottom
who
of
to
Poland
egg their
Hill.
house.
Which had nothing to do with the county. The state takes care of those bigger bridges. It's under the state's authority. So the state sent them out restrictions on a bridge. So that means those loaded trucks now have to find possibly another route, which is gonna come right down Goshen Road.
That's what happened with the windmills.
Yep.
They were supposed to go up a different route and couldn't. I think that's what I was thinking about when they were supposed to ask our permission. And then the county said, oh no, we don't have to ask for permission, that's our road.
Yeah.
I think right there at 1,000 last year, before they started putting the windmills up, because I was living right there next to it at the time, they just put a brand new canal bridge there, brand spanking new, and it was because of that.
Yeah.
Because it didn't meet specs, so they're like, well, we better replace it to do it, so.
So that is coming, and like I say, do we skip one of our roads and jump in and have that done?
No.
Or
My
do we
suggestion
wait
was,
and,
if they're gonna skip it, you let them skip it. And when people complain, you
Yeah.
know they're gonna call the county and complain. They're gonna.
I just had an evil thought.
And it won't just be Basalt people.
I just had an evil thought. If that's our road, technically, the city can make it a three-way stop at every road from city that goes out there and put a stop sign. Anybody gonna have to stop
Well,
at every single one.
Roundabouts.
I told them,
The county will take it back
Speed
real
bumps.
quick.
There's nowhere to go, there's a roundabout there.
I told them I was just gonna tear up all the asphalt and turn it back into a dirt road.
There you go.
And that's when Dusty started being nice and trying to help us.
Yeah, we can't afford to pave anymore, so we're just gonna go back to dirt.
Yep.
Dirt and gravel.
Maintain.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, so that's coming up too, and there is a bridge over there. Everybody keeps telling me it's a culvert. It's not a culvert. The county, it is a bridge. It's just not, it's a poured in place bridge. But the last time it was inspected was 2009. So the next thing that we need to think about is if the county commissioners don't get that passed where that goes back to the county road, that bridge really needs to have an engineering inspection, not just one that looks out, okay, no worse cracks. I mean, I can do that every year. It needs to have a proper engineered inspection for load limits and that kind of thing. Right now, our county roads are just, they're based off of state roads, so what is it,
I don't know, man.
I can't remember, it's 100, I think it's 120,000.
It's a lot.
It's whatever the state, basically, there's no road weight limit on our roads. But they could, if we get an engineering place to look at our bridge, I don't know, do you do that kind of stuff?
Do a low rating on it.
Load rating, and we could,
Ask for a low road,
Yeah.
what's the lowest you can go on this?
well, unfortunately, it's small enough that it can handle a lot of weight, unfortunately. And it's in pretty good shape, so I don't know
Not looking good for the home team, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but it has been a long time since it's had an engineer look at it structurally.
Maybe we could threaten to tear it up or sell it to the county.
So those are things that are coming up that whether we do something in this meeting, you're gonna hear about it in the coming meetings because that's,
I say
I've
let
had
them
more-
skip the road.
but yeah, as far as micro sealing Goshen Road, I kinda do need an answer tonight if the council's for skipping one of our roads and doing that,
What do you guys
or
think?
just let them skip us.
So our budget for road stuff is 60,000. I made it big knowing what we spent to have this road done with Larry. But we had to pay H&K, the county wasn't working with us at that time. So that bill was like 58,000. Then now to do 2 roads with the help of the county, it's 24,000.
With gravel, it's gonna be closer to like 28,000.
28,000 for 2 roads.
28,000.
Yeah. So we probably could fit it in there. I wouldn't do a whole lot of extra patchwork like it.
So
Your place.
if we skip doing Goshen Road, that puts pressure from the community
That's what-
onto the,
That's what I
County.
think, it puts pressure on the county.
Must have something.
You won't know tonight, but we did apply for that $100,000.
Right. And that was my other,
But if we got that, when would that?
well, we
that
could
would
put
be
that
for
somewhere
this year.
else, right? Yeah,
I say we,
let's put some pressure on.
Skip it.
And
What's the
And then do
likelihood
this.
that they'll, yeah, what's the likelihood that they'll say, okay, the county says, okay,
Okay, but
I don't know.
Did you
Well, if
say
they
Drew
do-
was fighting for it? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Drew's pushing, they haven't had a meeting, I don't know when they're gonna put it on the agenda. I know that's one of the things that Drew is fighting for, is for small communities not to have to take responsibility for county roads that border their cities.
That run
They're
through?
main roads.
That run through?
Because there's only like 3 of us in the county. Aberdeen, I think Aberdeen and us, there was one other one that was hit real. I mean, Shelley and Firth both have county roads, but they're not as bad as what these are.
That's what do you guys think?
so
I mean, if we did get a grant, that'd be in like the next, it wouldn't be this year, but it'd be the next year.
Yeah, but that could take care of other roads also.
Yeah, it'd be for, in July, it'll be the fiscal year.
So you get the answer, right?
Yeah,
We'll
so,
get our answer before that, but
Oh.
money would be available in July.
Would, by doing that, if we did Goshen, would that put us up on that grant deal where we get that better grant money? Because we improved our
LTAC.
township.
Is that what you're talking about?
You want one?
LTAC?
I think so, where you,
no, that's what he's talking about. We've already applied for it.
And we've been working at getting
but you
some of
know,
us
you have to,
meetings.
you have to start putting money out to get on that list, though, right?
Yeah,
Well,
you have to look like a chair.
Would that do anything if we did? Or is that?
No, not necessarily on that. If there was to be a improvement there.
Maybe to
it-
make plans and start setting money aside to that, but then you couldn't touch that
Here's
money
what
for
I-
anything else.
We probably ought to work with the county and us long term, because if that really is gonna be the route for the mine thing, there's probably a lot, they're gonna micro seal it, but there's probably a lot more work than he's done on the whole length of it. And they should be looking at a federal aid incentive grant, which is 93.2, anyway, it's about 93% grant. But that won't come into effect for, I mean, it takes some time to get on that list. I mean, not like 1 or 2 years, like a few years. But if that's, because that money, that federal aid incentive is only available for roads that are on the, essentially the state list. But that, and we'd want to, the section that's in the city probably doesn't justify the amount that we want for the grant. And we're talking, okay, we're going to look at a $2 million project or something like that.
Unless you did a bridge repair.
Yeah, and you throw a bridge repair in that, because there's another LTAC grant that does bridges. But you'd want to say, okay, you got to build a project big enough to warrant going after it, which means it comes in combination with the county.
Except.
And then you get kind of the multi-jurisdictional,
Well,
cooperation
Was it Heyman did it?
points, because 2 jurisdictions are working together.
the guys' names.
Um,
But they
wasn't-
were saying it was a port-in-place culvert, but the counties is listing it as a bridge. It's a, and it's, the state doesn't consider it a bridge because it's less than 20 feet. But it is considered a bridge. It's like a port, but it's not very wide. It's only like, I think they said it's 11 feet or something like that, 12 feet.
I thought during the discussions dealing with the windmill guys using the road, they were supposed to put money back to take care of the
It
road.
was a dirty deed.
That was, yeah, and that was a dirty little thing that happened, and that's part of the reason why I was upset at the county, because they kind of hosed me.
That was kind of when Brian first came in.
Yeah, that was right, and I hate to say anything bad about the dead, but Guy Barris had lost a bunch of information. And the county didn't want to help me with the information that they had. And so we lost our opportunity to get in on them to redo our road.
Okay, so
So,
what do you think?
but when the mine does go through, just so you know,
Make the mine pay for it.
Yeah, so I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I say we delay it.
How soon are they gonna?
I would say delay
It'll
it.
be, it's down the road a ways. It's down the road a
And
ways,
I know,
because they'll have to
but-
have a hearing yet.
Cause if we were to take care of the city's roads first.
know.
I was gonna say, if it's far enough away down the line that we can do this and then maybe use some of that for that, then I say,
Yeah.
wait.
So
Like I say, there would be a contract with the mining company that they maintain something, or
yes.
there would have to be an
I think
agreement.
so too.
for them
Heck,
to
we've
use it.
driven how long with it like that? We
Laura,
wait
what do you
longer.
think?
Laura, I have questions.
Okay.
So isn't it really not doing it, us going right back to the way we were before and fighting with the county? Didn't we just get back on good terms with them?
Yes,
Yeah,
I understand, and I would love to be obstinate too and not do it.
but
But
they
is that
have to understand too,
really-
like, really, we have a strict budget.
I was gonna say, can't we say,
Like,
we
I
can't afford to
Even
do
completely
it
Dusty
now?
understand.
himself, in one of the meetings that we went to, he was like, well, how much money do you get from road and bridge? And well, it was like 400 and something for the year. I mean, so what do you do with that? Well, then what do you get from the state? And I'm all, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say around 15,000, like still.
So we've got the
How far does
money
that
and we
go?
can do it. Brian can't patch as much road, right? If we do it, but we can still do it.
with our current budget.
Right,
Now, if we get the $100,000 in July, then we're golden.
right.
We've got all kinds of money to,
But if we put forth the good faith effort and do it this time, then it comes around again, and we say, we don't have the money, we worked with you last time, we truly don't have the money this time because we budgeted for other places, they can see that we're at least trying to work with them, right?
I think at least if we're like, we can't do it now, but let's think on it.
right?
Well, we can
I'm
say
sorry, you may
we,
have to come out
How
a
long do
second.
we have to use the money if we got it?
You get the money, there's a time limit, I think they want it spent within like 2 years or something.
Okay, so we could drop it in a savings account or whatever and spend some here and then save some for,
I think I want an answer tonight, but would there be any benefit to saying, oh, we wanna, I could go, Brian could go, we could get the commissioner, we could get the Dusty and, maybe the mayor and say, we wanna do this, we don't know how, here's our budget, there it is, we don't have any money, this is what it's obligated for, help us come up with some ideas of how we can make this work.
And then throw back
both
at them the
parties.
fact that they
Here's-
screwed us over on the
I think it's-
windmill money.
I think you
That's
just leave
what
that, I think you leave that going, you say, so, and here's what you're planning this summer, but what's the plan long-term with this mine? Let's what are some solutions, some alternative solutions that we can work together with the county? We may get some money, we don't know, because we can't commit to it right now. What can the county do? Can we go after like this, when's this mine coming? Are the county doing an agreement with it? Can we work together to get an agreement with them? I mean, let's
Why does it have
look
to
some
be
solutions.
tonight?
well, I could talk to him.
Let's ask them if we could, I like Husky then,
Yeah.
get together and say,
Maybe they could split it with
is
this.
there any way you could help us out a little bit on this? Because this is something we didn't budget for and it's
Yeah.
kind of thrown
well,
our
we can
budget
say, we already
into,
started on this road,
you know-
we budgeted for in town.
maybe try to work with them instead of just
We're not a
saying,
$1 million budget.
you know,
Okay,
Maybe
Yeah,
they
I
can
think-
jump in the lake.
Because Dusty's well aware of the federal aid incentive program that through LTAC. And, if you're going after that, Dusty, is this road a possibility? Or he has a lot of roads and he may be saying, no, we're going after it for, I don't know, something out Springfield
Maybe,
or something like that. But anyway, we've got to come up with some solutions. and-
maybe have them do like half and we do the other half, or one lane, you know what I mean?
I will,
Just try to see if we can,
Just coordinate a
see
meeting
if
with
we
them.
can,
happen.
yeah, like Huss said, maybe you guys could all meet and just try to figure something out.
Yeah,
I will talk to him tomorrow and see exactly when he's gonna have an answer and if we can sit down and meet with him.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that'd be much better than us just digging our heels in and saying, hello, like Robin wants to say.
So you say, council, we have a council meeting, they want to do it, but there's just no, there's no money.
Yeah,
So we want to meet with you and figure out solutions.
good idea.
that's what I think.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
We can do borrow pit at the same time then.
What's that?
When they work on the road, we can do the borrow pit problem at the same time.
Yeah.
They
That'll
would-
probably happen this summer, I bet.
They would probably want, because there's
Maybe
so
present
much
that.
fill in there, They may have to plow it out onto the road, scoop it up, and then we'd have to clean the streets again to do the microseal. So probably a little bit before they do the microseal would be the best.
Yeah.
Because
Plan
those
it
roads
out.
have to be pretty
Yeah.
cleaned up.
Yeah, talk to them. I'm okay with, you know, if they can run their tractors through there and do their part and we can do our part, maybe split the bill.
Okay.
Try to get them to own it, maybe. Okay,
Okay,
let's move on.
thank you, I appreciate the time.
Brian's
Alright.
long-winded.
Well, there's a
And
lot
all he
that
does
comes
is
up.
bring problems.
All right, let's talk about city business on the discussion of utility bills.
Alright, yay.
Thanks, us.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
So, we all know, we've been talking about money grabs for a long time. And really hoping that we didn't have to do a big increase. But Brian brought his good news a couple meetings ago. And the reality is we don't know when we're going to have to do the work on the tank. They could come look at it this summer and say, oh, maybe you can still go another 5 years, or maybe a couple years. But
Thank you.
that's $110,000, but as of today, we do not have.
That's just one estimate from one company, another
Right.
company may be different.
You're absolutely right, but it gives us a guide, right?
Or it could be more.
Or it could be more, could be less, it could be more.
Just as he was leaving, Huss said he's got some information about the tank lining. He's putting together a bid for another community. It's got some different materials and
Okay.
maybe cheaper, so he's gonna get with me and talk to
get
me
that.
about it. So there may be cheaper options too.
Okay. And the worst case scenario, the mayor has found out, like really and truly, he could do it. He owns all the equipment to do it. You talked to Garrett, we talked to some water people, but there's some hiccups there too that could be a little uncomfortable. So, I put together some charts and I just barely got the PSI bill like 2 days ago, so garbage. So before we really had this discussion, I wanted to know if garbage was going up, and it did.
Yay.
So, they were charging us $18.55 a can on the first can, and that now went up to $19.68. We were charging $18.68, so that's at least a $1 increase. The second can, they were charging $10.55, and it went up to $10.66, so that went up a little bit. Again, our system, just so you guys know, there's no way I can put in two prices for cans. So we charge the initial price for each can, which gives us a little cushion too for like when it does increase and we get that first increase bill, or even if people are late on their bills. So I put together some charts. So this is our garbage revenue. It's a little blurry, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it would be blurry. But, so at the bottom of it, you can see the years. These are the last few years that I've worked. I came in that 2022 to 2023 year, kind of midway. So pink is revenue, and purple is the outgo. So we were short that year, and I personally remember when I started, I had to put in, you guys had put in a $5 increase. So I think for quite a few years, you guys were actually losing money on garbage like that. I don't know for how long. But then we got that corrected. So now you can see we're just a little above what the expense of it is for us. Water. This one's a little tricky. You look at that 22 to 23 and you go, dang, we did good. But I'm going to tell you that's a fluke, because that's the year that I came in, and I remember coming in and seeing the long list of overdue bills. And it was multiple pages and very small print. And a lot of those accounts were like $1,000 or more. I think the highest one was like $1,800 behind. Like at that time, the bill was $100. So that was the year I came in and started being mean and shutting people off and collecting bills. So I adjusted this chart. Here's what the actual numbers were on the left, but really I corrected it according to what should have been collected by the budget, 63,000, and expenses were just about 59. So you're just barely poking over. The 2023-2024 year, that one is the year we started doing maintenance. I took 20,000 over from general and put it into water to do some of that maintenance, and that doesn't show that. I left that out. I only counted collection, like revenue that we actually collected. 2024-2025, we put our big increase in, and you may look at that and go, well, what the heck? We're still just barely making it. So that's because we've done a lot of maintenance that needs to be done. So when you look at that, you can see, are we really able to save a whole lot and plan for future events like water tank lining? Sewer, again, that 2022-2023, we're the same amount over, just about 20,000. Here's the correction. Revenue again is the pink, expenses the purple. Does this help? I like visuals.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
And then this is the interest growth we've done. So this one's a little backwards. You got sewer, water, general, comes across. And then the years, the pink is the 2022-2023, purple 23-24, and then the orange is 24-25 that we just ended.
Wow, why did the interest go up so much?
Because I invested it in the investment funds.
Oh, okay.
Remember when I said,
I do
why
remember.
are we just leaving this money sitting here in these accounts that really barely collect any interest? And water really had nothing.
Wow, that's
And
really
so that was, the orange year is the year we opened the water investment account. So I've decided what happened, looking at paperwork and stuff. I think when they did the sewer project, and maybe Brittany can help me. I don't know when or why, but I know that they were told, so it used to be they had sewer and water, and it was a combined fund. And the state said that needs to be separate. So they separated it, and what I think happened is the investment account that they deemed sewer at the time was water and sewer, but they didn't leave any in water, and I don't know why. Why didn't they split that?
Okay.
I wondered if it had anything to do with having to have so much money to get the grant,
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
backing money.
I can't remember exactly. I just remember the one lady here was like, we have to split this. But it seems like they couldn't put all of the money over for some reason. Like there was some, and I remember her saying after the first year, then we can switch it over. But then I think we got another lady in there.
Right, that's
Yes.
also the
So-
same time frame that Deborah retired.
Yeah.
So
I'm
maybe it
pretty
just
sure
never happened.
there, yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know. You can look at those again, and then we'll talk about increases. And, I mean, do you have any questions looking at these numbers? Do you feel like we have concerns like sewer? For the most part, we don't have a lot of expense in sewer. The 2025, we did do.
I bought a new pump
New pump go
to have
out.
on hand. That's why the outgoing is so high last year
Yeah, I mean,
versus the other
typically,
years.
I'm gonna say typically there's like an average of 15 to 18,000 that is above what we bring in. So I don't have as big of a concern about sewer, except that I also think we need to keep in mind, there is still a lot of lacking maintenance in sewer, like we should be like flushing lines. Or if there is a sewer problem that happens. So I don't feel like we should totally be lax and be like, oh, we don't need to increase sewer or worry about that right now. But maybe we don't need to be as aggressive as water. Because we don't want to end up having sewer fund issues like we do with water now, because nobody looked forward and planned ahead either. Make sense?
Yes.
I look back at water. So really last year we only took in above like 4,000.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then you have to look at too, like everybody thinks we don't have bills and where the hell does this money go, right? Well, we talked about like the Bingham groundwater. That's more than 50% of an increase that they gave us. We have a Rocky Mountain Power bill, and we are saving money, like compared to, because we have fixed some things. But at the same time, like that bill has increased. The amount's not the same as what we used to pay out, but if that makes sense. Any questions there? Okay, so then I made this little chart to give us some numbers to look at. I'm sorry if it's a little blurry. So our current rates are in the pinkish purple on the left for water, sewer, garbage. And 4.9% is the least that we can do without having to do a public hearing. And if you do 4.9% on the garbage, that doesn't quite give us enough to match what PSI is charging us. So we're gonna have to do a public hearing. So that's why I'm saying we need to make a decision and think about what we want to increase and how. So if you did 4.9 straight across the board, water goes from $65.56 to $68.77. That's a $3.21 increase. And then the yearly, that's how much we would increase our revenue by. And I did that at 9% because Gil had given me a number last meeting. He threw out 9%, so I threw that in there. And then just for kicks and giggles, I did 40% because really our water probably needs to squeeze up that high as much as nobody wants it to. And you don't have to do the same percentage on everything. I just was trying to give you some numbers to look at.
So we have to go higher. How much higher on the garbage do we have to go?
You
And how
have
much
to
of a
go
cushion
at
do
least
we-
$1. So that's why I'm saying it's gonna be more than 4.9%. We have to do a public hearing.
So how much of a cushion do we need in garbage?
We really don't need a big cushion,
Okay.
other than late bills, people that pay their bill late, or when they raise our rate and don't say anything till they bill us. So like last month, our revenue for the garbage was $3,000, but the bill was like $31.77. So,
So
but our extra cans, I feel like, are kind of that cushion. But
yeah.
as we get a new computer system, I would be able to charge differently for those second cans, and we could reduce the second cans.
Which takes away
That
our
would be
buffer.
nice.
It helps
Pay
out
for
that,
5
yeah.
extra cans.
Oh.
It would take away the buffer, but it would be good for those that have extra cans, and would make your bill less.
And I do feel like we kind of need to make a decision, because ultimately, the longer we put it off, the more we do lose a little bit in garbage.
Okay. And so then sewer.
And you know that, however I put it into the paper and put the notice out, we can't go more than what that notice states.
Right.
So we could go wild and crazy and say, we're gonna increase it 40%.
Now, the 40%, I know it probably, so you got the 4.9, which is the minimum. The 9 is what I said, what I mentioned last meeting stuff. If you went between the 9 and the 40, just put that at 20, it might be more acceptable. Put in that.
And you could only do like 20% on just water and maybe the 4.9 on sewer. You
Yeah.
don't have to go straight across the board.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if you put in the paper 40%, but have the 20% option when people come in to scream,
They'll be less mad. No, they're still
they'll
gonna be
go,
happy.
okay, we won, we got it less.
Nobody's gonna be happy, it doesn't matter.
They're not gonna be happy, but they're gonna be less mad.
Yeah. Even the 4.9 is gonna be a lot of people upset, so.
Because let's think about this too. Say we do have to do that lining. So Curtis kind of priced out him doing it and figured between 30 to 50,000.
I don't know.
Oh, well, okay, I'm throwing.
Just
out a
throw the number out.
Yeah.
If it was gonna cost us $50,000 at 40%, we could maybe just squeak by.
Yeah.
But then the next
But the one
question
bid
is,
was 110.
yeah. So at $110, if that
And
was what
remember,
we
we
took,
really don't have a lot of savings in
Yeah.
water to pull from. You
So then
can
it would-
pull from general. That is another option as we think about those things. But also, I feel the same about general as I do about sewer. You know, we're just talking about roads. And that comes from general. You don't wanna hurt your other funds either. I mean, the auditor told me that one time when we talked about the 20,000 and pulling it from general over. He's just like, you just really wanna make sure that you're able to pay for, like water should pay for water.
out of curiosity, I mean, let's just say we bumped it up to 40%. And we did that for the next couple of years. Can we drop it back
Yes.
down
Yeah.
once that project was covered
You could.
to I mean, talk about getting on people's good side. I'm just saying,
That's what I mentioned before, other cities I've lived in, that they say, all right, we got a problem, we need this, we gotta raise it up now. In 3 years or 5 years, we're gonna be dropping it back down to this. You know, because, and that way everyone knows, this is to deal with this unexpected problem that we didn't know was coming.
So Brian, do you know when you get an estimate for the tank, was it to completely blast the white metal, the whole entire inside?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
It's a complete,
Complete?
yes.
Okay. I wonder if it's possible to spot blast and paint the whole thing.
I don't know.
Okay. Just a quick, that's all.
So there's still a lot of unknowns, right? And that's the hard part, is we're trying to plan, not kill everybody in the community. Because the first thing that I will hear, and I am very much aware, we have a lot of older people on fixed income, single fixed income. And I'm aware of what some of those incomes are, and it's hard. But, I was standing in the office the other day, somebody made the comment, our $130 bill really is not that bad compared to, they brought up smaller communities.
So on the 40%, the bill would basically be 181.
Well, if you did 40% on everything.
But that's what the bill would technically be. So basically $50 or so. Yeah, for the.
So mine would be even more, mine would be like 200,
Because of the extra
because of the
time.
extra.
Right. Yeah, she did it across the board, so you
Yeah.
could mix and match. You could go 40% on water, and you could do 5% on sewer and garbage, or 6%,
But the
whatever it takes to get up
To that dollar.
to that extra dollar.
But the biggest increases are needed in sewer and water, and just,
Specifically water,
Water is.
but I'm just saying, we don't wanna kill our sewer either going, we don't need to increase this, we'll just be aggressive on water, like, I think that's been the problem.
We need to look at, the reason she's saying that is because our last sewer project, and we're gonna be paying on it for a long time.
Yeah, that was still a fairly new project, it's a 30-year loan,
And so they didn't replace all of our sewer lines.
they did band.
They just, they Band-Aided it. Goshen Road got all new lines, and then we got a few sections here in town that got a few new lines. Other than that, everything's still the old concrete,
Okay.
and it eventually will need to be replaced. So you don't wanna, maybe you don't jump the sewer to 40%, but it needs to go up something to just maintain
Just
that.
for a refresher,
that
this was
cushion.
that chart for like where our funds are sitting at Q4, the blue ones, what we increased. Top one is general, middle is water, and down there that's all blurry is sewer.
Okay. As a citizen, I would say, like Brian said, I would say 6 or even 7% for garbage and sewer, and do the 40 for the water. Because, I teach classes online and stuff. The rules of 3. 3 days without water, the average person dies. That's rule number 2. That's rule number 2. So, yeah, water, that's how important water is.
Yeah. And as a reminder too, like if you want to compare us to Firth, why is Firth's bill still only $95? Well, they're in the problem too, like they kind of they don't have a water tank. Our system is much fancier than theirs.
There's a lot of components on our system, a lot.
And the fact that, I think they have water without power too, but
They have a generator.
yeah.
We got 3 generators.
Yeah.
Each of the wells have it.
Yeah, and then one down at the plant.
But then Idaho Falls, what do they pay for water?
One over by the stop shop.
The Idaho Falls is much bigger.
So you have
But they got more people to pay into it, so.
Right. And that's the thing that people don't understand, because I got told that by somebody, well, Idaho Falls is not this much.
I know, one of the things that because I was looking at a schedule that shows all of the communities. One of the things that Ammon does is they have small lot versus big lot. I mean, you could say if you're a half-acre lot, it's gonna go to this much, but if you have 1 acre or more, it's gonna be this much a month.
But unfortunately, we still have to look at our bottom line too.
I mean, you can do that, and that's what Ammon does. And if they have meters, then it's a $30 a month plus, it's $1, I think it was $1 or $1.25 for every 1,000 gallons over that. So they get pretty expensive really quick.
Blackfoot's pretty expensive.
Yeah, Blackfoot was another one.
Blackfoot's
Pocatello
expensive.
was pretty
Pocatello
high.
is too.
They've got a really crazy schedule on how they charge for their water, but just looking at it, it's crazy expensive for Pocatello.
So I guess for the public notice, because we probably need to get that in,
Yeah,
I'll do the 40%. And then we can negotiate from there, but
If you were to do 40% of sewer and water, and like the 5 or 10 on the garbage, I mean, you're looking at maybe a $30 increase or so,
yeah.
which isn't.
a future project I can see happening to sewer though, if something happens with the ponds, they develop a leak or something.
Then we have to pay Firth. Then we have to, and that would be
If they
another
ever
project. I mean,
develop the leak, we wouldn't be able to keep them.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
How about we get a couple more estimates for that tank before we make that a final thing?
Well, because what I'm saying is we have to pay for the expense of doing a public hearing to increase for $1 for garbage. We might as well make some increase.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We could do a smaller increase and go through the summer and see what they say.
I guess what she's saying is, do we eat the cost of the garbage for a month or two? And then do it, have the hearing in a month or two, or do you say, we're not gonna eat the cost of the garbage, we need to do an increase, and while we're doing it, let's do the increase for that?
Yeah.
I don't think we should eat it, because we've been eating it for a long time.
Yeah, the
When we
numbers
start
that
going
I've
down these
seen on
roads,
the
we
past
get right
years,
back to where we were.
Yeah.
scary.
The other thing would be not doing an increase now, next year, hey, we need some more, do another increase. You know, 'cause then,
Well, really and
kinda see
truly,
what that's
my
about.
personal opinion is we need to have our people be used to at least a minimum of cost of living increase every year. That
Yeah.
really should be done, and then it doesn't hurt $30 at one time. It's
Yeah.
like
I
$2 or
agree.
$3.
We
at
do
a
have
time.
to, we have to get
But
that,
that
we
hasn't
have
been
to
done
rip off
for-
this.
26 years since they did the water project.
Yeah. And that's the problem is, that's why the water is in the dire straits it is because it wasn't done every year.
Wasn't done ever.
And then we need to make sure everyone understands that for the last 25 years, it hasn't been going up.
And that's why it hurts now.
That's why it hurts now because you've been skating on it.
And all of the equipment's now
Needs to be fixed.
Fixed or replaced, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should go with the 40, because I think the water's gonna end up having to go 40, whether we want it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's shocking, it's a huge jump, and as a citizen, I don't want my bill to go up like that, but I also know we have to take care of our cities.
So I'll put the public notice of the 40% increase, and then we can discuss at that meeting
That's what I'd do,
what we really want to
because
do.
we're gonna get yelled at either way, so.
Might as well make it good.
Probably have some handouts to show people.
Because I would love for people to come up with solutions better than this, but
I would suggest that you have those printed out and at least here so people can look at them, because you put that notice in.
Yep. Okay, and then the last thing on the agenda, that we'll make this quick. Cats, I got a phone call. Do you know we have a cat problem here? I said, we do? So, I said, I will put it on the agenda.
Question is, do we have a mouse problem?
We
Yes,
have a cat
Oh.
problem.
No, more cats.
Basalt, for years, has had a cat problem. It is
Yeah.
nothing new.
Yeah.
And Laura can tell you her story of her thinking, there's like, she put a camera out here, she's like, I counted about, I think it was like 15 to 18 stray
yeah, I
cats.
don't remember at the
I'm just
time.
gonna start one at a time. But it has grown
It's
and
way
migrated,
worse.
and I will hand it to her, because we know in the past that there was a person that would trap whatever cat got in the traps, and they would kill them, but the problem is you didn't get the problem ones.
Nope.
And Laura has learned what the problem ones are, and there are pockets of them, because people release their cats, don't get them fixed, whatever. So this person was asking for an ordinance on cats. I don't know that that's a thing. Can you limit how many cats a person has?
Well, you can dogs, how can you?
I feel like
You
cats
can.
are a different creature.
Well, you
Number
can,
one.
but as soon as they turn them loose in the city, it's still our problem.
Yeah,
right.
So Laura has been out of her own pocket fixing cats. And she has spent a lot of money and a lot of time trying to capture cats, lure the right ones in, and
I'll tell you, it costs $50 to $100 to fix a cat.
how many have you taken care of?
I updated my tally and I missed a couple. now keep in mind, I've either gotten them fixed, gotten them a doctor, or had to have them euthanized because they were sick or something. I'm up to 90 cats. I haven't scratched the whole problem yet, guys. I've been aiming for the females, trying to get the females so that we stop having them. There's cats that keep appearing. You kill them, and all that happens is another cat comes along and takes its place.
Someone dropping them off here?
Yes.
I don't know where they're all coming from.
Because
I'm
we're a
not
rural community
kidding you.
that's, yeah.
Here's another problem. I know of people who are getting cats, when they get to a certain age, they kick them out of their house. Then they kick them out, they don't get them fixed. They start coming in. And because I have outside kitties and I feed my kitties outside, they start showing up. But I know where a bunch of pockets are because I've fed them there, and I can now tell you it's a bigger problem than I ever dreamed. We have a real big problem.
So I don't know what the right thing is to do.
Put rewards out.
But I don't want to be policing cats. Like, I don't even think that's possible. A lot of these cats don't even have owners.
Yeah.
Can the animal control help?
There's one in Bingham County, and they won't do it.
Guy was taking care of about 20 to 30 cats a year.
But he would kill people's pets.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, 20 to 30 cats a year, Guy was taking care of.
And I've been doing
Pets
this
or
for
otherwise.
about a year, and I've almost done 90 cats. And
Guy's not here anymore.
I'm telling you, there are so many cats I haven't touched yet.
So my question is it a city issue?
It's gonna
You
be.
get overrun by it, and it is.
My wife works for the city of Idaho Falls for animal control, that's her job, that's what she does. And, for the police department, and it's a never-ending story. It'll just get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, because cats can have 3 batches a year, and they don't ever stop until they die. They just keep having babies.
Yes, so the
babies,
city
babies.
actually pays for it. The city of Idaho Falls will actually pay to catch, spay, neuter cats and release them.
So that's my question. Is it a city problem? Do we put in a budget to help Laura? Or,
I'm gonna be honest, if you guys want it under control, you're gonna have to, because
But
I'm doing my best.
I've
but-
had people that don't mind well, at first they were mad about what she's doing, because there's traps sitting around and food sitting around. But they really didn't want the city spending money on cats. There has been several people saying
Well, I think there's some vet clinics out there that they give, I don't know for sure, but the Shelley vet, I think sometimes they do,
vouchers.
yeah.
Shelley Vet does not do vouchers.
Very aware
Shall
of
we
which
tell you
ones
what?
do
The
vouchers.
one,
I have
the
sniffed
one in
them out.
Blackfoot used to,
They're $50.
they don't do it anymore?
They do a voucher,
They're
but
still
it's-
50.
It's still $50. They cover, basically, you have to pay for the shots.
So I can go to Snake River, I just discovered them, Snake River will do them for $50, get them all their shots, so we make sure that we don't have any rabies, they're way better than anybody else, is Snake River, $50 for a TNR. So, that's just,
We don't have to have a
Flat.
solution tonight, in your brain.
All right, is that everything?
I think so.
Okay,
Anything to say?
any other thoughts?
Their heads are spinning like ours. Well, what the heck?
She's gonna
Okay.
talk forever, so I'm gonna end it.
Make a motion on the adjourn? I second it.
All in favor? Thanks for coming out.